Yesterday I reviewed a 2017 film called Escape Room, while today I'm going to be reviewing a 2018 film by the same name. Additionally, in the past, I've also reviewed the 2019 film, Escape Room. I will say there is some confusion regarding the release date for this film, as some sources state 2017, while others say 2018, and from my understanding, it is a mix of both, though it was actually released in 2018 here in the States. Now, given the fact that that's where I'm from, and given the fact that I've already reviewed a movie called Escape Room from 2017, I'm just gonna stick with 2018. Makes things a lot more easy to understand. Now, there was one element that I was looking forward to with this film: Skeet Ulrich's return to horror since Scream more than 20 years prior. People tend to love his performance in that film, so will the same apply for Escape Room? Let's get cracking. In the 2018 Escape Room film, written and directed by Peter Dukes, a man named Bryce, played by Ulrich, owns a local escape room that is somewhat popular in town, but according to him, not popular enough. So to spice things up a notch, he goes to a local magic or voodoo shop and he decides to buy a cursed skull box to use as decoration in his escape room. However, when a group of people try out his escape room, they accidentally unleash the demon imprisoned in this cursed box, which possesses one of the crew members who's playing a bit and forces him to literally carry out his character's task as executioner. So whenever one of the players gets too close to him, he kills them. Plus, every 5 minutes, his chains are loosened, allowing him to get a little bit closer to the players. Their only hope is to finish the game to unlock the door and escape the room. So, like I said before, one of the things that interested me to see this in the first part, a part of it being included in the Escape Room Mechanics series, was the fact that Skeet Ulrich was in the film. Most of you know him primarily from Scream, but I actually know him a lot more from a very underrated and barely spoken about TV series called Jericho. If you have not seen that, please do give it a chance. It's pretty cool. Anyway, how was he here? I want to say great, but I'm having a hard time forming the words. Instead, 5 words keep popping up in my head whenever he's on screen. He's just collecting a paycheck. He's not the main character, and he's not in it all that much, and when he is, he's not really giving much oomph or commitment to his character's desire to keep this business afloat. However, that being said, the fact that he was there adds an element to the film's very clear love and respect for the classics when it comes to horror. They never mentioned Scream, but Ulrich's existence in the film qualifies as a connection to me, but there's tons of other references to classic horror joints such as Halloween, Friday the 13th, The Thing, It, Saw, You're Next, Annabelle, and a very funny and cheeky nod to Gremlins. This is a movie that has a love for not only the genre, but for escape rooms in general. Similar to the 2017 film Escape Room, it takes a lot of inspiration from how these rooms actually physically operate. I'd even say that this film, so far, has been the closest to how the riddles and the puzzles work in these rooms. I'd even go as far to say that this movie so far has been the closest to how real riddles and puzzles work in those types of rooms than any of the other movies that I've watched. There's no malintent going on, right? There's no bad guy. It's a real escape room run by a real guy. There just so happens to accidentally be kind of a demonically possessed creature that's going to kill them if they can't get out of this escape room in time. What's interesting is that it creates some double meanings for escape rooms as a whole. It ups the ante to make sure that you don't slack in an escape room, and maybe I'm just seeing this out of craziness, but this demon was locked in a box for centuries. Might I even say an escape room of his own making. So when he escaped, I'm sure to him it did feel like he won some sort of escape room challenge. And then, what does he do? He finds himself in yet another locked room, unable to escape. So, yeah, I mean, he's a serial killer demon thing, but maybe, just maybe, he's kind of a part of the team, Maybe he wants to leave as well and finally find the freedom he hasn't had in centuries. Now, that's something that I thought was smart, if that was indeed the intention the entire time. As a film in general, I would say that the flick is okay at best, but definitely on the lower side of films that might attract you. The budget is considerably lower. I don't know exactly what the budget is, but it doesn't take a genius to notice that there's not much going on behind the scenes. They have some nice usage of some awesome colored lighting, which they try to accentuate at times with strobe lighting effects that, by the way, is really painful to watch while it's blasting at my face at 10 o'clock at night. I think adding a supernatural slasher to the mix helped make this movie feel somewhat unique and different, which is good, but it also has a list of little problems here and there that add up at the end. Things like the theme of the escape room itself. It's not super clear. If you've ever gone to an actual escape room, they usually have a theme that is consistent from beginning to end, which helps drive not only the plot of the film, but the plot of the mystery found at the heart of the escape room experience. Another problem is, even though we're talking about a slasher that is brutally killing its victims, there's a surprising lack of gore here. The mysteries as well, they're okay. They are indeed believable enough as far as escape rooms go, but I almost feel as if they're not as intricate as they should be. Almost as if they were thrown in there in order to make sense as an escape room film, but there's so much free time going on in this room as well. What I mean by that is that in a real escape room situation, you know that an hour may seem like enough time at first, but then you realize these rooms are jam-packed with so many things to sift through and so many clues to use that you're actually lucky to win if you do. There's moments in this movie where the gang takes breathers to decide what to do next given their predicament. And I'm sorry, but they do this too many times. In a real escape room, halfway into the movie, I'm pretty sure they would have had no other choice than to lose because they weren't using the time effectively. So let's just say if this was the only escape room movie ever made and you had nothing to compare it to, it might actually be pretty cool. As usual, I did enjoy a good portion of the film, but when I'm forced to unavoidably compare it to other films, it just doesn't shine as bright as some of the others. I'm glad I saw it, yeah, but I'm afraid this will end up being one of those movies that I will never revisit. Sorry, Skeet, I wanted to love it. I wanted to say you carried the entire thing, but you were almost a second thought in this movie. I'm going to be giving this a rating of C-. In terms of movies that are literally called escape room, I think this is the last one I will be reviewing. And as far as I know, the only movies called escape room were the ones in 2017, 2018, and 2019. I've covered them all. But there are technically a ton of other movies that fit this trope as well. For instance, there is a movie called No Escape Room. Well, escape room's in the title. It's not just called Escape Room. That's what I'm talking about. So there's a lot more movies that I plan to watch here in the nearby future. I don't even know how many I plan to watch since my list is like full of 200 movies. I'm not going to be looking at all of that. But there's a few more that I definitely want to check out before I'm done. If you have an idea of an escape room movie that I haven't checked out, please leave it in the comment section down below. I'm very curious on movies that strike your fancy as far as escape room mechanics go. As for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. And until then, I don't know. Peace out!